The man held the scheming girl in his arms, appearing right in front of the girl he once loved. She forced herself to smile through heartbreak, and handed them a box of condoms. But he didn't know. The girl only had 3 days left to live. 10 years earlier they had been a loving couple. When thugs harassed her, the man stabbed one to protect her. The thug's family swore revenge. To save his future, she took the blame in his place, knowing it meant the death penalty. Yet she never hesitated to cut ties completely. She staged a fake betrayal with her friend. The man left her in despair, and they never saw each other again. 10 years passed. Her execution day drew near, but for good behavior, she was granted 10 days to bid her family farewell, even with a cold electronic shackle on her wrist. The air of freedom felt priceless. Then she learned her mother was gravely ill. Desperate to repay her in her final days, she went to a bar to earn money. There she met the man again, the one she feared to face most. Still bitter over her betrayal, he saw her bowing her head for money, and lashed out in drunken anger, humiliating her again and again. She endured in silence, which only fueled his fury. He threw checks at her feet, ordering her to be his servant. That night he made her deliver condoms. When she saw him with the scheming girl, her heart shattered, but she forced herself to stay calm, knowing 3 days later, she would be gone forever. Leaning outside his door, she recalled their past, how he once shielded her when her father's favoritism and the scheming girl's cruelty crushed her spirit, how his presence had once given her hope. She never regretted guarding her love in her own way. The next morning he found her outside, where she had waited all night, his heart tangled with emotions, believing she had thrown away her dignity for money. He cruelly poured a box of diamonds into the pool, and told her if she wanted them, she had to dive in. He knew she couldn't swim. He only wanted to humiliate her, but she jumped without hesitation, because her mother's surgery still needed money. Time passed and she didn't resurface. Panic struck him, just as he prepared to dive. She emerged smiling, her hands tightly clutching diamonds. With that she secured her mother's surgery, but to keep her alive longer, she volunteered for a liver transplant. Soon only 3 days remained before her execution. She removed her dragged herself to see her mother, and ran into an old classmate. Seeing her electronic shackle, he learned the truth of years ago, that she had taken the blame. He confessed. The thug's harassment had been staged by him. He never thought she would sacrifice herself. The girl fainted in rage. He rushed her to the hospital, but the man witnessed it, and misunderstood once again. That night he summoned her to the bar, intending to punish her, but her pleading eyes broke through his resolve. Just then she coughed blood and collapsed. He carried her to the hospital, and stayed by her bed all night. He couldn't understand why a love so deep had ended in betrayal. When she woke, she asked him for $5 million, only to leave her mother some protection. He was crushed, but still threw her a bank card, telling her never to appear again. He didn't know that was their last farewell. She gave the card to her mother, then returned to prison to face execution. Soon after, the man received an invitation to witness a public execution. When he arrived, and saw the familiar face of the condemned, all the years of hatred and pain erupted inside him at once.